Hi, everybody. Believe me, I do prepare something today. The first picture, I have to share a little bit about myself. I walk with 2 walking sticks. Before that, actually, I don't need. And that boy, I think you have no problem in recognize who I was, okay? That was Charles, okay, not Nelson. My current name is Nelson. At the age of 1, I got the cerebral palsy, okay? It's not a degenerative disease in my cases. And chronically weakening use of my lower limbs. When I was in primary school, when I was in primary school 3, I have an operation, the surgery operation, which is exploratory surgery. By that time, I had to stay in hospital for 9 months. I have more than time, sufficient time to think what I want to do. Lying on the back for 9 months. When I go back from the hospital and go back to my primary school, you see this 6 person actually stay in the same classes, primary 6. Perfect example of small class education. When you have 40 people, 45 people in the same class, I think that's a perfect example. Small class education. But after 2 years of the primary 6 graduation, 2 passed. What I mean, passed away because of the illness. That made me think what I really want to do in my life. What I really want to do in my life. I have a little dream, okay? That dream is a luxury. It's a simple. I want to go to university. That university have 4 periods at the main gate. I can even hear the sound of birds singing. Blue sky, gray clouds, and little breeze. And that dream made me get through a lot of challenge. And by that time, my primary 6 years old, I was told after 3 years of my surgery operation, I was told by my in-house school medical doctor, Nelson, not Nelson, Charles. He said, if you're not go through another operation, you're going to sit on the wheelchair here, wheelchair, for the rest of your life. You have to do that. And for a schoolboy, which is around 12, I have to make a decision. After the first operation, the surgery, before that, I don't need 2 walking sticks. And after that, I need 2 walking sticks to walk with me. Will you do that? Will you take the second chance to do an operation? Basically, to let the tendon not that tight. Okay, we'll do that. I have to make that decision. So from that time, I think it's all about a matter of choice. A matter of choice about who I am, what I want to do. At the same time, I think it's part of my life. Bring 2 creatures. And that disability actually is a part of my life. I have to accept that. It's not easy. And I think the most interesting part of my life and that primary time, is to know more about myself and recognize what's the real challenge for myself. That part actually belongs to myself for the rest of my life. And I have to accept that. And I have to cope with that adversity. Then I say no to the in-house medical doctor. That's my life. I have to deal with that. So I do well. After the primary school, I go into mainstream or secondary school. After 2 years, 3 years, actually, I don't need to sit on the wheelchair. And then, finally, come here, CHK for my bachelor degree. And then, after that, I work in the medical faculty as a biostatistician, doing epidemiological research for 3 years. And after that, I went to University of Hong Kong for another executive position. I do well because of the learning, the opportunity for me in CHK. I changed a lot because of that opportunity. I equipped more than just professional knowledge, but something more than that. In the campus, if you walk from the main gate or even from the MTR station up here, it's a natural training for me to cope with the mobility disability, to cope with that accessibility challenge every day, every hours. If you need to change classes from one college to another college, from college to Faculty of Science, from Faculty of Science to another dormitory, something like that. So, I have to thank university that give me that kind of professional knowledge. Apart from that, it's campus. The campus give me a natural opportunity to build up myself, the resilience, to cope with challenge every day. And from that, I learned a lot, particularly when I was in university. I read a lot of books, but my teacher, my professor, told me, better to concentrate, better to have a domain that you can work with, and you can focus more. I take the advice, and I think most important thing, apart from the professional knowledge, that's just all about, apart from the knowledge, the professional knowledge. Apart from that, that will be how I think, how I deal with the challenge, how I'm facing with adversity, and how to connect with people. And I do well, I get along with all those people, not just in dormitory, in my classes, but at the same time with university students at the same time. Even though I think people with challenge, neither visibility, what I mean, the visible impairment, or invisible, or the physical or mental illness, somehow that's the challenge they're facing. But once you decide not to be reduced by the challenge, who take the control is just all by ourselves. So it's all about the matter of choice. I'm lucky enough, after the university education, I found another NGO, Hong Kong Rehabilitation. As a founder, the chairman asked me to take up the executive director position. But at that time, I started to think, apart from me, what's the real challenge for a handicapped person, a people with disability? Is it about mentality? Is it about physical aspect? I think it's both. It's both intercorrelated. And then I start to think if this kind of program, the program can help people to do better, to strengthen the physical fitness, while at the same time to strengthen the mental toughness. I think it's about sport. So I come across an international organization, Riding for Disabled Association, starting from riding 1 hour a week. By that time, 1 hour a week just lead to, okay? Then, basically therapeutic riding. After 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and I start my own business. I got a chance to ride more than that. 2 horses in the morning, 5 or 6 days a week, and I go for a lot of local and international competition. And that was the picture in the Olympic. In the Olympic, what I learned, sometimes you win. I win a lot. Local competition. Also overseas competition before I qualified to be an Olympic rider. But sometimes I lost. Olympic is a game. Life is not about Olympic. Do you agree? Do you agree?
Yes.
If you think life is more than Olympic, we have to go through a lot of up and down. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. When you lose, you're not happy. You think that, okay, that's the end of the world. When you win, you're happy. For me, on the horseback, I learned another thing. Rider is an identity. You have to sit still, head up. While when you do riding, keep the straightness, keep the roundness, and the direction. And don't look down. Keep the energy. And what's the more important? Keep smiling. And breathe and relax. This is what I learned in the Olympic. And what's that? What's more? Sometimes we have a good horse. We can win a game. Sometimes it's not about the horse. It's about us to get along with the horses. And we have to be humble and have to put discipline, put time, and also, apart from discipline, apart from time, this is all about the patience to get along with each other. So, in the game, if we know Olympic is not life, but life is about Olympic. The more important thing is about the process. This is not about the winning or loss. It's about the process. I'm better not sit like a lemon. To live is an act of faith. To listen to the inner voice and to go out, to empower the people to develop, to help those to realize the potential, inject mindfulness in our life, like in the darkness. Thank you.